No, but this is, but what Westside did was like very admirable. And for the year, I mean, Mike, uh, where would you have, okay, so are we rating it together as one total project? Where would you have it rated as one total project? And where would you have side B rated by itself?
Well,
Because we gave side A a 4.
all right, after our conversation, after we just kind of talked through it with the people and everything, I feel like we're gonna have to rate these as individual efforts. I can't rate these as a double disc because they didn't come out together. I didn't sit here and listen to them all at one time together. Now I'm gonna have to go back and listen to side A and all that. So side A is one album, side B is another album. We gave side A 4. Side B, I think just for the power, side B has to be a 4.5. Do you feel like side B is better than Bo Jackson?
Okay, so now we're about to have a conversation. I think,
Because Michael Sanders just said Boldy James, then Westside Gunn's album. And I think that's not a bad proclamation, really.
so the Boldy James project is more consistent,
Mm-hmm.
beginning to end, but this is just more high level moments.
Yeah.
I'm with you on the 4.5, but what I will tell you is that I realized something when I listened to like all of these songs today by Westside, because I listened to the first project today. Well, like those, that Tyler and Isaiah and even the Sky Zoo project, they're not as good as this.
Mm-mm. Tyler got pushed to the back a little bit. I think time wasn't as kind to Tyler as some of the
It
other
wasn't, it
efforts.
wasn't, yeah. And so if we're just talking side B, I would have side B and here's what I'm saying about the AZ with the Do or Die 2. I feel like the Do or Die 2 needs to be put up higher. So my top 4 albums this year, KD2 is
Okay.
still number one. And then I have AZ's Do or Die 2, Boldy James, Bo Jackson, and now Hitler Wears Hermes 8 all lined up somewhere between 2, 3, and 4. I think it's just too really early to decide yet. I've only heard this project like 2.5 times. I need to listen to it some more. I've heard the Boldy and the AZ now much more. The AZ is really, really silky and smooth how quick you fly through it. You know what I mean? Before you know it, you're at track 2, and before you know it, you're at track 10, and you're like, whoa.
You know what? I'm with that. And I like the way that the AZ flowed. I think that this one
It did.
obviously could have been better because the home
The
runs
songs
on,
are bigger on here. The
yeah,
songs are
the
bigger on
home
here.
runs
Like
on
AZ
here.
don't have nothing for Hell on Earth 2. Like Rituals not as good as Hell on Earth 2 for as dope as it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the home runs on here are big and they're huge. You know what I'm saying? They're
It,
massive. But there's drop offs in there because there were songs that were left on here that were good, but didn't keep that intensity up. What I will say about the Bodie James, AZ, and even the Nas, they didn't really have hook issues. You know what I'm saying? Like if we want to nitpick, there's some hooks and what I'm saying, some choruses on this album that I think could have been better. I mean, am I wrong?
no, that's why I have a question mark by why I do them like that. The hook.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, can we kind of get into the features? Because I kind of want to talk about Stove and Stove hook
We'll
game. Or
get
do
to
you
the
got another
features.
question? Looks like you got another question.
No, we'll get to the features. I mean, I know we're on the topic of where does this rank an album of the year, and I do want to kind of, talk about where
Well,
and why.
yeah, about to say, okay, so yeah, let's talk about that right quick. Where do you have it? I'll tell you where I have it. Like right now, after listening to it 2.5 times today.
I think that, if we want to be fair, and like you said, we're talking about album of the year, so we're talking about how cohesive and, how well albums can flow. I think that the power on this album is great, but I think that it does suffer from cohesiveness. I think it just has too many songs. And I think for somebody like, Westside, who set such a standard for himself and for his crew, I think he could have done a better job of not only trimming the fat on this album, but also ordering, what's here a little bit better. I think that I think All the Brilliant Things did a better job of flowing. I think that AZ's album did a better job of flowing. I
That's
think that Bo Jackson did a better job of flowing. Although I would put this ahead of Bo Jackson. Um,
right.
I'm looking at around third, right? Just with some room,
Right.
but
So what's your one and two?
I think KD2 still has number one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm undecided in two. I'm undecided because I think that there are a few albums that deserve that consideration. I even have somewhere in a warped out universe, I have Donda floating around in that because of the longevity of the themes too and the creativeness. I also have All the Brilliant Things floating around in that. I do think, I want to give Tyler another listen. I don't think that Drake is in that just for me personally, creatively. I think he really just stuck to the script. Isaiah Rashad's album is dope, but I don't think it has the power of those. So, um, I don't know, man. AZ's album too. So off the top of my head right now, I might say AZ at number two, which is wild. You got Nas and AZ, taking the number one and two spot for album of the year. But again, I think those are the ones that are kind of going through my head at the moment. I really think Skyzoo put together a very easy listening effort, but the creativity on some of these other efforts might supersede it. But for the moment, long story short, I know I'm babbling.
No,
I
you're
got it
not.
at three, just for the power alone.
So, and this is very, very like rare that we do this. While you were doing that, I was just writing down the album of the year contenders where I currently have them after today, like in my mind, and I'm gonna list them. And this is what I mean. Like some people are sliding down and some people are sliding up because
Mm-hmm.
it's really Mike. I mean, and people have to understand this. We're doing this like live, like the day of,
Oh yeah, it's
and
not
so
easy.
so most of the stuff that we say is gonna be like when we're saying something is album of the year contender, it usually holds, but it may not hold its like rating when we did it live originally, because music really is determined by how it holds up over a course of time, and what stays with the people. And so right now I have KD2 at number one. Mike, I'm like you at this week after listening to Do or Die 2 again. I have Do or Die 2 actually at number two, and I don't believe I'm saying that. The Nas and AZ in 2021 have made the two best rap albums that I've heard this year because both of the rap albums are really concise, lyrically sharp. The guest performances are epic. The production is high. And really, Mike, if we were nitpicking, the AZ album is actually slightly more lyrical. It's just that the Nas album is better produced and the songs are bigger.
Yeah. I want to get
And
to what Miss Mo said in the chat real quick. Can you hold your thought? Because
yeah, no,
she
really,
brought
the
up
list
something
not
really
changing.
good. Miss Mo said, I agree with you guys. Hitler Wears Herman 8 Side B is too long. He might have got caught up trying to follow Donda, Certified Lover Boy with these extra long albums. That's
Hold on, I should have been
possible.
there.
Agree. Westside put out our anticipated on 9 or 10, where he started off with the album, and he should have put 99 Averex closer to the beginning. See, I think we're all on a similar page here when we're talking
Told you,
about
Stone shouldn't have
99
been in the back.
Averex.
Why, Mike?
Yeah.
When can we? Hold on, I know we. Okay, so are we going to address all that right quick? Because
Go
it's like I
ahead.
want to
No,
talk
no,
about
no,
the
no. That's
features and I want to finish the list. But all of those points that all of the guests made, that everybody watching made, like are valid. I'm with you. 99 Averex should have been like it shouldn't have been no further. Like, how about this? It would have been nice if it would have went into like Survivor Series 95 and 99 Averex, like definitely should have been one of the first 12 records that you heard, in my opinion.
I
Both of
agree.
those.
And I felt like that with the fly that couldn't fly straight, like that shouldn't have been so far back, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you could have put that where Richie's was, and I felt like that would have been better.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
yeah.
you go Benny and Conway to electronica to Tyler. It's like that's showing your brilliance and versatility about placing people too. And all the records are strong. And even though the joint with Tyler, what is it? What is it? The Fly Who Couldn't Fly Straight. Even though that's not as strong as the two records that's before, it is a dope enough record that you still like engaged in the player. Like you like, oh yeah, no, he coming with it, album of the year. You know,
Can I
but
speak to
okay,
something that she said too? Before you get back to your list,
yeah, go ahead.
with that whole being caught up in what Donda and Certified Lover Boy was doing with all those tracks, there's definitely something to that, and the fact that in the streaming era, so a lot of people could hold different, positions and Billboard slots with different singles. People tend to put out a lot of albums. I mean, not albums, a lot of songs on the album. That's why Scorpion had so many songs on it, because Drake or his team, they wanted all those songs to chart. That's
Well,
why
also,
Certified Lover Boy had so many tracks on it. And I don't know if that was Westside's mentality with having so many tracks and
okay.
having, you know what I mean?
No, so okay, so let's address that.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, like All Eyes on Me, if you put it together, is like 28 or 29 songs.
It's a lot.
If you put Life After Death together as 24 songs, there's a
Mm-hmm.
reason that Life After Death is the greatest double album ever. It's the most concise. Didn't he just do like 34 songs between two albums? So like you're gonna do like more streams, but where we're going to end up ranking you is going to be affected because of that. So it's one of those,
Mm-hmm.
you can't win for losing. But like I mean, he's at such a high level. And he's at such a high level, even for all this critique. I would put Hitler Wears Hermes 8 at number 8, right after KD2 and Do or Die 2. That's my initial thought, because what I thought was that, the songs on here are bigger than the songs on Bo Jackson. Even Bo Jackson
Yeah.
is more organized and concise in the manner that KD2, Do or Die 2, and All the Brilliant Things is. And that's another thing that I realized today. So I have Hitler Wears Hermes 8 at number 3. I got Bo Jackson by Boldy at number 4. But I moved All the Brilliant Things back up to number 5. It's holding up really well, and it's put together so well.
It is.
And I have Call Me If You Get Lost falling all the way down to 6.
Mm-hmm.
I got The House Burning by Isaiah Rashad at 7. And that's as far as I got it ordered right now.
Joe Bro says, I agree with people sleeping on Lil Sims. I gotta check out that album. Michael Sanders says Averex 99 should have been right after Hell on Earth Part 2.
No, that's too soon, and you don't want to put it up against that because it's such a strong record on its own, so that's not fair to the record. The Free Cutter with electronica is perfect. It's right after that, just to keep that momentum going. You know what I mean? Because that's what I mean when you listen to KD2, Mike. Like those first 3 songs, he got you.
Can I say this, and I say this respectfully? I think if we were grading Westside on putting side B together, because I think he did a better job of putting side A together than he did side B.
On what level?
I mean, as far as like ordering the songs together, because everybody's pretty much saying the same things. Like when I heard, the Tyler song, I thought this, everything that everybody's saying right now. Like, why is this song so far back? Same thing with 99 Averex. Why is this song so far back? When it comes to putting it based on his standard, and if we're giving a letter grade based on Westside standard and his history, he did a very poor job of actually ordering these songs. I mean, would you agree? All the way down to the whole intro interlude being so long and being so close to, to Hell on Earth too.
So that's what I mean. Things that we have like normally praised him for, which is like organization, structure, song sequencing, like the executive production things, ability to edit. Like his tools are still in effect, but there are some missteps, and those missteps, quite frankly, how about this? Like I felt like I was listening to what should have been the album of the year today.
Me too. And I'm sitting here like, yo, am I tripping? Like, I get it. These songs are, because especially the way it started off hella powerful, right? And I'm like, okay, where are we going? And then when we start getting there, I'm like, nah, that should have been here. or it would have been better if it was here. I know.
Right.
Do you know that whole story about the fact that I was reading this Creative Loafing article when they celebrated, I want to say maybe the 20th anniversary or 15th anniversary of Kumina or something. They talked to everybody in the Dungeon family, blah, blah, blah. And long story short, Big Boy wanted Y'all Scared to be the first song on there. Have you heard that story?
No.
Yeah, Big Boy wanted Y'all Scared to be the first song on there. Everybody at the label
You
was...
said that multiple times, though.
Yeah, everybody at the label was against it. They wanted Return of the Gangster to be the first song. And that was the right choice. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah.
Label was right.
And there's
Sometimes the label was right.
when you listen to that song, I think it was KP that said that, but when you listen to that song, or that album rather, you don't hear any songs like, yo, man, that should have been here. That should have been here. I hear people all the time say that Liberation should have been the last song on the Kumina, and I don't agree with that even. But
you want to know what I hear? Really? It's like Westside got like first class problems. Like everybody trusts him. So it's right. So you know what I'm saying? Like these are first class problems that he's having, because that's what I'm saying. For all this critique, Mike, I mean, you and I, our top three is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just KD 2, Do or Die 2, and then this. With all of that, but I felt like it should have been the album of the year if we're just looking at the tracks and what the potential really is, and just like what the culture is right now and how they're trending towards it. Because I'm gonna tell you something, as a Mobb Deep fan, like them putting, like him doing Hell on Earth Part 2 and just like putting that title down. Like, not everybody can do that, and people be okay with that. They're the only crew right now people would be totally okay with. You know what I'm saying?
But
it's like when I heard it, and then I heard the beat, Mike, I was thinking, I was like, ooh, did they take a sample from a Mobb Deep? I was like, because that sounds like Get Dealt With off Hell on Earth, which is the track right before Hell on Earth on Hell on Earth. And then I was thinking, or is it Right Back at You? I was like, or is it right? Or is it did they take the Loop the Shook ones and freak it? It just felt mobbish, and it's like, no. I love it when they on that. Like, go.
Right. Well, I'm gonna say this, and then we can get to the features, man. But I do think that it is, and again, like you said, these are first world problems, and I don't want to sound like we on some super critic, super nerd shit, but we got to really delve into it, and it's one of those things that, like you said, if the reason why this isn't album of the year is because the person that we hold high for doing a certain thing didn't do that certain thing well, then it has to be called.
Well, no, it's not that he didn't do it well. It's just, how about this? I mean, Michael,
I don't think he did. I don't think he did. Everyone shouldn't be sitting here saying that 99 Averex should be more towards the front, or the stove stuff you said should be more towards the front, or the fly.
What did I tell you?
We're all saying the same things.
Mike, did I not text you before this album dropped and said I don't like Stove's features in the back like that?
Yeah.
Because here's why. And now can we go into the features?
Let's go into the features.